Boston Pizza harnessed Fanalytics to help optimize no-look dipping. Ooh, making adjustments so you can stay focused on the game. The playoffs at Boston Pizza, powered by Fanalytics.
Dallas won last night, so the Oilers are basically already up 3-2 in this series. Let's get into it with the lead. If you're a believer in patterns, Liam, I mean, come on.
I mean, it is a pretty wacky pattern. The fact Pavelski and Draisaitl have both scored 4 goals in one game, and they lost in the same game too. Pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy. Welcome into a Sherwood 4 Giant Game Day edition of the show, live from the Sports Closet studio and live on the Oilers Nation YouTube, where our pal Greg is in and says consistency. Keep the pressure tonight. And what the hell was Woodcroft thinking? Keeping Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the ice with a 4-1 lead with 5 minutes left. That was an unnecessary bad decision. Greg, some of us had Draisaitl over 1.5 point.
And over 5.5 goals.
I respect Woody. He knows what we're trying to do here.
Thinking about my wallet.
We're trying to win a Stanley Cup, and we're trying to get paid doing it. So I respect it from Woody. Ryan's in and says, Nuge gets on an official heater tonight, and Boogie finds another gear too. Do we go Boogie or Jugsy? What's Nick Bukestad's nickname?
Jugs. Come on.
Yeah,
big Jugs.
Big Jugs.
Yeah, I like Jugsy
Jugs,
a little
maybe.
bit more. Sebastian's in, all caps. I'm feeling an Oilers W tonight. And a game day. Let's go, boys. And Kildrak is in 5-1 Oilers. Vinny buries one. We're going to get...
He's due.
He's getting there for sure.
He's had some looks.
We're going to get into all of it today on a Sherwood 4 Giant Game Day edition of the show. But first, something that I know had you all fired up yesterday. The NHL Department of Player Safety doing exactly what we thought the Department of Player Safety would do. Screw over the Edmonton Oilers. There have been two instances in the regular season where a player was given an instigator in the final 5 minutes of a game. Both times the NHL rescinded it. We've always been told that, hey, suspensions are worth more in the playoffs and more later in a series than they are in the regular season. Yet the NHL still decided to give Darnell Nurse 1 game for instigating a fight with a guy who asked him to fight about 20 seconds earlier. It makes no sense. This league is backwards. And if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, there is a little part of me tonight that says it's open season. And I sit there and I kind of say, how badly do I want Vinny Desharnais in the lineup for Game 6 of this series? Is it worth taking a run? Oh, Jack Eichel? Maybe an extra hard cross-check on Mark Stone, because that's what Vegas is doing, and George Peros is waving the green flag and saying, have at her. Dying seconds of a blowout game, Alex Pietrangelo can take a lumberjack hack at the best player in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and the league shrugs and says, it's late in the series. It's the playoffs. 1 game will suffice. But then 1 game is also good for a guy who starts a fight with a guy who wanted to fight him. It makes no sense.
That's the issue. Like, the 1 game for Petro, fine. But the fact, especially we all saw what happened. Like, that wasn't, like, I get why the instigator rule is in place, and it's not to protect that.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the miss. Like, the 1 game for Petro, fine. But the Darnell thing, like, come on, man.
So, Liam, you thought it was going to be 1 for each, right? That was your prediction? Or did you say none?
Yeah, it was 1 for 1.
Yeah.
Not because I thought that's what
Because you love Peter
it
Chiarelli?
deserved. Yeah, I'm a massive Peter Chiarelli guy. But just because the league's a mess. And it was so inevitable what was going to happen because they get in their own way literally every single time they make a decision.
If who's a bottom pairing defenseman on Carolina? Chatfield. Game 1 of your next round against the Panthers. Why would you not go 2-hand Matt Tkachuk right across the wrist? Okay, you'll sit game 2. Who gives a shit? Your team will win the series.
Maybe Puljujärvi.
Sure. Yes, he was probably watching the Oilers game. He's got a great... And I have a conspiracy theory to show you.
Ooh, let's do it.
Tinfoil hat on. Before Alex Pietrangelo took that penalty, the broadcast showed a montage of him getting hit, and then him holding his wrist on the bench with his glove off. Alex Pietrangelo knew he wasn't playing Game 5 anyways.
I don't hate it.
I can subscribe to that.
Yeah.
He was sitting on the bench going, well, I'm pretty sure my wrist is done. I'm not playing again. I'm going to go try even this thing up.
Yeah, You're going to hate me for saying this. I almost respect that if that's the case.
That's what Aaron said when I shared this
Word
theory.
for word.
Yeah.
I don't. I think it's gutless because you're not going to have to own up to it at any point. Like if he plays in game 6, I fully expect someone, whether it's Nurse, Desharnais, whatever, to go at him and try to drop him with Pietrangelo and say, you got to answer the bell for that.
I think as soon as he gets back in the lineup, the NHL is going to protect him mightily. I think
probably because that's the way this league works.
Yeah, as soon as an Oiler goes near him, the Oilers will be the one who goes to the penalty box.
You pay that debt next season. It's not a playoff debt. It's about it's about moving on to the next round, but you just
and that's ultimately what the Oilers have to do. Like I talked about, if you're Desharnais, you can go chop whoever you want. The last thing you want to be doing in this hockey game is giving a 5-minute major to the Vegas Golden Knights in a pivotal game 5, right? Like we're kind of saying it a little tongue-in-cheeky here, but it was something to see the reaction online. And Aaron, I know, was just flashing up a bunch of responses while we were talking. Like guys like Pete Blackburn, Scotty Burnside, people who are as neutral can get in this series. Steve Dangle was out talking about what a joke of a suspension it was.
Sid Sixero, whatever his name is.
And he hates the Oilers.
Yes.
Greg Gwasinski as well. A known Oilers hater was on our team for this one.
Like, if you polled the credentialed media around the league, I have a funny feeling like 90+% would say it was bullshit. And it was bullshit. It was the NHL taking the cop-out easy way of, what is that noise?
It's this like hybrid car. I heard it pull in.
Boy, that threw me off. It's the NHL taking a cop-out easy way of, hey, we're not going to piss off the Golden Knights fan base. And hey, Oilers fans, it's evened up. Like, you're mad Nurse is suspended. But look, we got their guy. And it's just a joke.
Well, but the thing is, though, you have to, like, we have to say our piece and we have to move on. Like, and the Oilers have to do the same thing. But I'm going to tell you, there's one thing this has done. And it's to our benefit. Leon's going down to Vegas, and he's going to light them up.
Close your eyes and envision this, all right? Leon Draisaitl from his office in the third period fires one home. Skates by the Golden Knights bench with his wrist out like he's showing off some ice.
He probably will.
And he goes, I'm good. It's happening. You can see it.
So,
you can visualize it.
That's the one thing that, like, if you're looking for the silver lining and just want to focus on, like, Leon's okay. That's all that matters. But, like, he's showing up on time in Vegas. That is a certainty.
Yeah, and I really do think this probably did work a little bit to wake up the Edmonton Oilers and their stars a little bit more. I mean, Leon Draisaitl, 6 goals in the first 2 games of this series. None in the next 2. He's on a cold streak.
Yeah.
He was sleeping
tonight,
and they poked the bear. It's going to be a good one. Game 5 of this series goes tonight at 8:00. The chat is bumping right now. Electronic Jordan's checking in from Disneyland and checking in from telling Chris Chalmers his TV is too high. Christopher Palmer with a "Let's Go Oily Boys." If the Oilers win, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. So Oilers win on Sunday while you're in attendance with Chris Palmer.
Yep.
We may need like company expenses going forward to keep you guys going to games together.
Hey, if that's what it takes, I'll do anything for this team.
If that's what it takes.
I will lose money on Oilers victories.
Sure.
Worked last game.
People talking about the Dallas curse, 100%. Ravina is in, says the Oilers are going to be fired up tonight, 100%. There's no reason why they shouldn't be just absolutely zeroed in right from the jump in this hockey game.
I mean, yeah, like the Oilers have to dictate this game in multiple different ways, right? And the way they've done it in the 2 games they've won is that they've bullied the Vegas Golden Knights. And if what happened on, Wednesday night doesn't trigger you a little bit more, then I don't know really what will. So, yeah, I'm expecting a very feisty Edmonton Oilers team tonight.
It was such a good game.
It was awesome.
Brad is in with a question. Which player is the bigger loss for their team? And I think on the surface, it's very easy to just say Pietrangelo, right? Simple. He's their best defenseman, and Nurse is our second best defenseman after Matthias Ekholm, I believe. But I would say that the Vegas Golden Knights blue line is maybe a little bit more equipped to handle this loss.
They can absorb the loss better than we can, without a doubt.
And, I mean, you look at what they're going to end up doing. Ben Hutton likely going to draw in for this team. I don't know. They might run Martinez and Whitecloud. I was talking to Mike McKenna about this on Daily Faceoff Live. So maybe they go Martinez and Whitecloud as a duo. They give a few more minutes to McNabb and Theodore, who are a decent shutdown pairing, and Haig and Hutton is the third pairing. But the other thing, too, is that Vegas will have last change. So if you have that weak spot of Haig and Hutton on the bottom pairing, you can probably overcome it a little bit. We'll flash up the Oilers defense here. This is how I believe they're going to go tonight.
Costin folded White Cloud. That was awesome.
He did. That was great. Ekholm, Bouchard, you obviously keep them together. They're going to act as your top pairing tonight. Kulak and CC going to be kind of like an all shutdown defensive zone starts only kind of thing, which I actually don't fully hate. And then you're running Broberg, Desharnais, which has a chance to be a problem, and has a chance to be a problem because Vegas has last change. And you really need to pick your spots with those two.
That's a lot of time for Bush, man. That's a lot of time for Bush to be on the ice. I think you got to maybe do some kind of rotation with Ekholm.
I think.
But then what? You're going to play? You're going to play Cody Ceci 30 minutes tonight, Jay?
Yeah, I don't. Well, this is a very unique situation.
Bouchard has hit 20 minutes twice in this series. The other
20 minutes is fine.
The other time was 1917. His high so far.
Ekholm has to play 30 minutes tonight.
Probably.
Yeah.
Bouchard,
but I don't want Bush playing 30 minutes.
Bouchard's high in the playoffs is 28-25 in the game against the LA Kings.
That go to overtime?
What game was that one?
Yes.
Game
it was
4?
the game on April 23rd. So it was game 4. And that would have been when they were pushing for the comeback, obviously getting some power plays in the second period. The second most he's played is 24-50, and that came in game 3. Also, again, a game that went to overtime. I think you're probably penciling in Bouchard for 25 and Ekholm for 29 tonight.
Yeah, I think that's the way you've got to go. And it's kind of a shame that it's this game that Nurse goes out because the defense played so well in the pairings that they had in game 4 there. So that third pairing is going to be very interesting. I weirdly trust Philip Broberg quite a bit because I think he's a very sensible defenseman.
Yep.
I don't want him seeing his minutes extended too much, but I think he's going to be reliable in that position. And he's just very simple, right? Like he's never going to do anything to overextend. So I'm going to be okay with Broberg. But yeah, I think Ekholm is going to be the key figure on that blue line tonight. And thank goodness for Brett Kulak, honestly, because he's probably a pretty good top 4 defenseman in the NHL, and we're lucky to have him on our third pair. And I think
skate, like you elevate him, like we'll figure it out. The one thing with Broberg, I think we just have to be weary of. He's still pretty green, and physicality can actually affect him still. Like he hasn't come too accustomed to it yet, as I've noticed. So if they're forechecking hard, that could cause some issues. But I believe in his sensibility and his ability to move the puck with his feet.
Yeah, I think that Broberg-Desharnais pairing can be trusted in the right spots.
Yeah,
I think
you gotta shelter him.
Basically, whenever you're getting a neutral zone start, I think you're just rolling those two over. Like if you're starting them in the O zone, it gives you almost the illusion of sheltering them, but I'm nervous about Desharnais having to defend off the rush, right? If you start him in the D zone, I worry about Broberg's coverage in his own end. So I think it's a neutral zone on the fly kind of pairing, and you're just going to try to really pick your spots well and get those guys. I mean, I'm looking at Broberg's highs for minutes on the year. He played 18 minutes once. Down the stretch in his last regular season game, he played 12, but he hasn't been over 10 yet in the playoffs. He's going to have to play over 10 tonight.
I mean, if we can overcome having to put Griffin Reinhart in for a playoff game, we can overcome this.
The Oilers got to find a way to get out to a really, really good start in this game to help that defense out.
Yep, 100%, Liam.
Yeah.
Let's get to our Labatt Canada cooler question. Also, shout out to our friends at Greta, where I will be tonight. Aaron will be there tonight, and we'll be sharing quite a few Bud Lights. Give me that bad boy, Aaron. Come on. Cooler question for today. We've covered every defenseman in terms of their minutes. This one is how many minutes for Brett Kulak? Let's predict it as I hold on to this delicious Bud Light from Labatt Canada. Here are his minutes so far in the series. 13:08 in game 1, 17:37 in game 2, 16:56 in game 3, 17:50 in game 4. I will say Brett Kulak plays 23:49 tonight.
Oh, okay. I didn't order it so exact. 25:12.
25:12.
I will go 24:31.
It's right in the middle.
Yeah,
right in the middle there. Okay, that's fair. Here are his numbers and his breakdown so far in his last 5 games. The Oilers are going to need a lot from Brett Kulak. He's played 20 or more shifts in every game so far in this series. And giddy up. Stony Plain boy, Brett Kulak. You're going to be playing a lot tonight.
Stony Plain's very own.
Yeah. Let's get into what you're saying on the chat here. Davin says it depends on the PIMS. And I think that's actually a really good point. lost our audio for a second, but we're back. We're back. We're back. Anyways, it depends on the Pims, because if they take a lot of penalties, it's easy to throw Desharnais out for a lot of those minutes, right? Even those PK numbers are terrible. I think you just have to trust that tonight he can be that guy for you, and you need to use that as an opportunity to obviously rest a guy like Evan Bouchard, but I almost think you need to use it as an opportunity. As much as you want him out there for these minutes, you use it as an opportunity to rest one of Kulak or Ekholm. Like, you need to really peel off one of their PK minutes because of how hard you're going to be relying on them when it comes to 5-on-5.
But you need them on the PK.
Yeah, I know.
Was it game 5 or 6 last season that what's his name was suspended, Nurse?
It was game 6 of the series against LA, and some people have brought that up in the chat as well. The Oilers survived a must-win game last year without Darnell Nurse when he was suspended for headbutting Philip Deneau. So, they can do it, and they didn't have Ekholm last year. And Bouchard wasn't the Bouchard we're seeing right now. So
these are how the minutes were dispersed that night. So CC played 23:06. Kulak was the second most with 21:19. Duncan Keith was just over 20 minutes. Tyson Berry 18:25. Bouchard was 17:36. And then Chris Russell, the Cowboy, was 14:31. They actually played 7 defensemen. Philip Broberg played 3 minutes and 16 seconds.
I think Broberg's going to play more than 3 minutes tonight.
I got a sneaky suspicion.
Got a hunch. Hey, maybe they can call up the Cowboy for a quick game.
I miss him.
I do too.
Could use him.
It's a good $1 million D, man. It's actually wild that he never got another look anywhere else. Anyways, you're definitely going 6. Like, I know some people are like, oh, do you bring in Niemelainen as a 7th? You're just not. There's no upside there. There's no point. Like, you're not bringing in Niemelainen to give you 3 minutes tonight. It's pointless.
You're looking at your forwards more to play better defense.
Yeah, 100%.
That's your 7th defenseman.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people pointing that out, right? Managed to survive game 6 last year. You can survive game 5 against this Vegas team. Let's get into our Sherwood Ford Giant Keys to victory then, since we're, kind of dancing around a few different topics. If you drop yours in the chat, you can win an ON Oil Up playoff tee. I'm wearing mine under my ON Oil Up playoff hoodie, so I'm doubled up. But you can win yours. You can also head to nationgear.ca and buy one now. We do ship. Or you can head to a Sports Closet location around Edmonton, because we also have shirts there. Or if you're at Greta tonight for the party, we'll be doing a pop-up shop, so you can buy one there.
Or you can go to Tyler's house
and you can just ring the doorbell and say, hey, Tyler, I want your shirt.
Yeah.
And I'm legally obliged to give it to you.
Contractually.
Yeah, contractually obliged to give it to you. All right. Sherwood Ford Giant Keys to victory. Liam, I'll let you go first. I feel like you always go third, so giddy up.
My key to victory is team defense. I think the Oilers have to come out tonight and be just whole and make it easy on the defense, make it easy on Stuart Skinner. And if you can narrow that down, I think the Oilers should be fine tonight. Plus, Dallas won yesterday, so I am not sweating at all.
Fair. Jay, what are you doing?
I'm going to put all my chips on the Leon Draisaitl, or all my eggs in the Leon Draisaitl basket.
Okay.
And as we go further along in his career, he is known as the, German Gretzky?
That's what they call him.
Well, we're going to look back in history, and we're going to start calling people the Canadian Draisaitl.
Okay.
So he's going to show up tonight, and that's the reason, and that's the key. He mad.
Yep, I like it.
He wants to just rub it in your face, Vegas. You shouldn't have done what you did.
JT is in and says, Key, need another strong start in the first period. Don't chase the game. Don't get any retaliating penalties. Leon will make Vegas regret the hack. I like that.
We're looking at you, Vegas, or looking at you, Leon, for the retaliatory penalties.
100%. Epiphany's in, says incentive from the forwards to play more D, elevate their skills. Yeah, I think having the forwards really help out with the effort in the D zone will go a long way here tonight. Wyatt is in and says, play with passion for 60 minutes, no matter if you're up or down. And I mean, I think that one there, it goes to this team being engaged, right? We saw them in game 3, just largely floating around out there. They wanted to play perimeter hockey. They wanted to play easy hockey with the home run passes and all of that. If they can dial it in a little bit and bring that intensity they brought in game 4, then I really think they're going to be fine. Larissa is in and says, key to victory, just keep the pressure going. I like that one as well. For me, it's going to be keep dominating the 5-on-5 play. You really did that in game 4. And we saw Vegas get undisciplined. The Golden Knights' key to victory tonight is probably stay out of the box, because you look at the 2 games they've lost, they've handed it to the Oilers in the first 10 minutes of the game with their undisciplined play, right? If the Golden Knights want to keep this game at 5-on-5, so if you're the Oilers, you're going, okay, they want to play at 5-on-5, let's dominate them in that regard. They only gave up 13 5-on-5 shots in game 4 of this series. Just keep up a repeatable performance. Don't be taking the easy way out when you're breaking the puck out of the zone. Don't be trying to just hit these stretch passes and win the game with 2-on-1s and breakaways. Play the right way. Stick to the structure that, quite frankly, picked apart the LA Kings, right? Those short passes up the ice, dump it in, go get the puck.
I noticed in game 4, like, we just did such a good job clogging up the middle.
Yep.
And just stayed with it.
Mm-hmm.
And kept the Golden Knight at bay, right?
Yep. Good News says, key to victory, let Skinner see every shot and the offense will take care of itself. Marco is in and says, get 2 goals early. I mean, hey, that was the key to victory in the last couple of wins for the Oilers, was just to get a couple in early. Vegas becomes totally unglued, and you play the rest of the game out, more or less, right? Dr. Gonzo is in and says, lock down the D-zone play. Offense will take care of itself. Jordan's is in and says, key to victory, Kane with the rolled up sleeves and no elbow pads in warm-ups. Not quite sure if that's key to victory.
Like rolled up real high. It's almost like he's wearing a tank top.
Pretty much. Matthew's in and says, capitalize on your chances. Anna is in and says, play exactly like game 4. I like that one there as well. Hayden with another good one, and this one's been echoed a few times now in the chat. Offensive players show up in the D zone. I think there's a few pieces on this team who really need to be focused on doing exactly that.
I just can't see the Oilers kind of falling back into that game 3 rhythm tonight.
Yeah.
I feel like they weren't great in game 1, but obviously got away with it a little bit because they managed to get 4 goals. And then game 3 was embarrassing, to be honest. So I think they've learned from that. I don't see them coming out flat at all. I think Vegas will obviously have some pushback, but towards the end of the season, we were talking about how the Oilers can win in any situation when they're playing at their game. Like, no one can beat them in any kind of style. So I think tonight that's what they're going to see, because I got a weird feeling we won't see a ton of power plays again, too.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Okay, 2 more keys to victory that I'm adding into the draw quickly. Love this one from Timmy. He says, key to victory, hammer the forecheck. And this one from Nova might be one of my favorites. Key, get Aiden Hill to lose his mind. He seems easy to get calls drawn from. Yeah, he's a spaz. Yesterday on the show, Jay, we called him AHL Jordan Binnington. But like, if you go hard to the net, that dude will quickly lose his focus and his concentration. He's a spaz.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%. It's just be on him. Take little shots where you can too. Poke him a little bit, because that's what'll get him real spicy. And then there you go.
We do have morning skate lines if we want to get into that.
We will do that after we do the draw, Liam. I need to spin the prize wheel.
Follow the format, Liam. Keep this show on the rails.
Come on, send the email for a reason. The winner of today's shirt is Good and You, which is an interesting YouTube name, but congratulations. You've won. Email me, Tyler at Oilersnation.com. Say you're the winner, and I will make sure we get a shirt in your hands. Good and You is our winner of the draw on today's show. We do have lines from Oilers Skates, so let's dig into those. Top line, Nugent-Hopkins, McDavid, and Devon Shore.
Love it.
Placeholder for Zach Hyman. Liam, don't get too excited. You can keep your Devon Shore jersey at home tonight, but that line was really, really good last game, and they played a lot together. There wasn't a lot of putting McDavid and Draisaitl together, partly because they didn't need to. They were up in the hockey game, but that Nuge, McDavid, Hyman line looked very, very good, and I hope Woody sticks with the same kind of structure in this game when it comes to the minutes.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the Oilers have enough offense that they shouldn't have to go to Draisaitl and McDavid as often as they have in this series. Obviously, don't not go to it sometimes, but yeah, that line started off really well and finished off well, and hopefully Nuge can kind of keep it going now.
Yeah. Kane, Draisaitl, and Yamamoto is the second line. McLeod, Fogle, Derek Ryan as the third line.
That line.
You love that line. They work hard. They make safe plays. They get a couple of offensive looks, and they know how to go up against that Eichel line, which will be very important tonight. In games 1 and 2, they almost exclusively had to handle that line, and they did a really good job. Marchessault wasn't the same Marchessault early in this series. Eichel was quieter early in this series. That third line is a very important line.
Yeah, definitely. And they just play so simple, so quick. Like, they don't really do anything crazy out there, but they managed to figure it out and contribute.
Like, that guy, he's flying right now. He's feeling it. Like, he's moving the puck. It's great.
Ryan McLeod's got to shoot the puck more, though.
He does.
He does.
Like for a guy who has the puck on his stick as often as he does, coming in off the rush or in the offensive zone, all of that stuff. For that dude to only have 4 shots in 4 games, gotta rip that pill more. Can't shoot if you don't score, or can't score if you don't shoot, Ryan. Exactly. No goals in 10 games for Ryan McLeod so far in these playoffs.
Canadian Draisaitl, they'll call him if they start.
Sure. Bukestad, Kostin, Janmark is the 4th line. That trio was disruptive on the forecheck. They found the back of the net once. I like that look as well.
We still need a Janmark revenge game.
We do. We're
What's coming? Well,
he's coming back into
knock
things,
loose the cobwebs, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He'll be better. That 4th line is great. Kostin's been like, he can be a factor when he consistency obviously is what he struggles with, but like, man, like he was a factor in game 4. Like if he can be a factor tonight, like that bottom 6 is also a key to victory. If those guys play like they do in game 4, like that really takes the pressure off.
Ekholm with Bouchard, Kulak with CC, Broberg with Vinny Desharnais are your D pairings for this evening. Stuart Skinner, obviously, in the starters net. He continued the trend of when he gets yanked, he bounces back well.
Yeah, let's hope he keeps going.
And doesn't need to get yanked.
Yeah,
we should have maybe yanked him in the 3rd last night.
Yeah, just like really try to keep him just get him out of there.
Yeah.
Christopher Palmer says both Ryans need to hammer the twine. That would be Derek and McLeod. Joel is in and says that would be my major cleanup.
Nuge?
He would be the 3rd one that also needs to keep shooting the puck, but he scored last game. He's off the schneid.
Okay.
Loved that reaction from McDavid, too. That was so good.
Oh, man. The team is like a unit.
Yeah. Nuge had 4 shots in the last game as well, which was the 2nd most he's had in a game so far in this playoff run. He was buzzing. He like looked actively more engaged in that hockey game. So I'm hoping he can kind of keep that rolling here. Joel was in and says his major cleanup from last game, too many late passes. I like him, but pick the right play. Puck at the net is always the right play. That Connor McDavid move, cutting inside out on his edges. And I mean,
Janmark's the goal of the playoffs.
Janmark's in the corner, and it's like Connor. And I know he goes.
And it's still almost where Janmark was like was not expecting that pass. Like that would have.
Like he's a
Leon hit the empty net.
Leon hit the empty net. Connor fired that thing. You're a 60-goal scorer, my guy. Sometimes with both of those players, you're just like, you are both 50-plus goal men. Like, act like it. No one's going to be, you're not going to go back to the bench and Matthias Janmark's not going to be like, hey, Connor, I was open. Like, why didn't you find me? I was right there. You looked me off.
Yeah.
He wasn't even in the picture, literally, when he passed it.
Oh, yeah. Aaron's showing the replay here again. Like, whoop, whoop, and then you pass it. It's like, oh, my God, buddy. Come on. Steve is in and asked if I've dusted off the romper at any point in these playoffs. Haven't had to. Hasn't been a true back against the wall must-win game, and that's when the romper comes out.
I guess that's you don't want to see it.
Patty's in said, for the better part of my life, I couldn't have imagined ever hearing a Canadian use the phrase, the Canadian insert name of a German hockey player.
Am I wrong?
Not wrong.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Like that's gonna start. Like I bet you they're doing that in Germany right now.
Mm-hmm.
Connor is the Canadian Draisaitl.
David says it's about time for a 97 hat trick. Also, if you follow the numbers, it's about time for a Evander Kane.
Oh, it is way overdue. He might be due for back-to-back.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, no.
2 in short succession.
Seems like a lot, but maybe.
Well, the math.
Yeah. Connor McDavid hat trick. If we head over to our friends at Betway, let's take a look at what they're paying out on that. 3 or more goals. Connor McDavid, 25-1. Draisaitl's the same.
Oh, jeez.
Connor Hattie, like I'm tempted. I'm really tempted.
Is there an any player Hattie?
Like just any player to score a hat trick?
Yeah.
Gordie Howe hat trick, 22-1. And I think that's it. Sorry. That's all I can find.
Kostin is your best hope for a Gordie Howe hat trick.
I think Kane.
Oh, yeah, but if that wrist thing is true,
You might not want to be throwing punches.
but I think he does. That's the thing. Like he's fighting the puck, right? And he told us like the kind of whole feeling in his hand is still coming back.
He was sitting right here when he told us.
He was sitting right here, and I like that. You know, if he is fighting it, he's still showing up in the games and at least being that physical threat.
Yeah.
Like he was all over the map on in game 4, which was awesome. Just keep your stick down when you do that, and everything's awesome.
100%.
So, still finding a way to be a factor. If you don't have your game, that's the best thing you can do. If you don't have your game, just do the other things.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at some numbers for this matchup brought to you by our friends at Boston Pizza and their all-new Fanalytics-inspired menu. Beer mostly, fried pickles. Why not? Why not?
Sunday's game is screaming for Mimosa.
Especially if the Leafs end it tonight, that Oilers game could be at 5 o'clock. Sun shining, beer mosa pregame.
Oh, yeah.
That's the play. Getting off to a hot start, specifically at 5-on-5, is a major key to victory for the Edmonton Oilers. In Game 4 of this series, the shots were 10-2 in the first period at 5-on-5. In Game 3 of this series, the shots were 12-7 Golden Knights in the first period at 5-on-5. Are you noticing a pattern? In Game 2 of this series, the shots were... Oh, I accidentally clicked on the wrong game. I clicked on the LA Kings Game 3. 10-4 Oilers in Game 3 of the series against the Golden Knights in the first period. Edmonton went on to win that hockey game. If you come out and play well in the series, and the Oilers have scored the first goal in every single game, to give them credit, but you need to come out and play well. You need to get that first goal, and the numbers back it up. If you dominate the first, you dictate the rest.
Another thing that's kind of happened too in the Game 1 and Game 3 losses, the Oilers allowed goals almost immediately after they scored too.
Yeah, and they clean that up.
Yeah, you got to tighten that up as well. But yeah, the hot start is kind of the issue in just maintaining it.
Yeah. Here are the 5-on-5 numbers in general throughout this series. Game 1, Oilers 21, Golden Knights 27. Game 2, 21. In Game 2, it was actually still the Golden Knights who held the advantage, but Oilers drew even at 5-on-5 in that game in terms of goals, with it being 1-1. Game 4, they outscored them 3-1. Again, Vegas wants this series to be played at 5-on-5. Your goal, if you're the Oilers, is to, 1, do everything in your power to get them playing undisciplined, so way less of this game is played at 5-on-5. And when it is that way, hard forecheck, force the turnovers. Think of that Bukestad goal. That was just being a pest, having a good stick, and forcing a turnover, and the rest wrote itself. It was a great strip.
He should have got the goal.
Well, no, it was Bukestad who stripped it.
Was it? I thought
puck went to Costin. He missed the net, and Bukestad went behind, picked it up.
Bukestad's very crafty.
Yeah, he is.
Jugs.
I was gonna say,
Let's talk a little sports betting here. Brought to you by our friends at Betway. 19+. Please play responsibly. Cha-ching. Oh, the sound didn't go.
Cha-ching.
Oh, well, I said cha-ching, so they at least heard that. Game day big bets challenge for our friends at Betway. Liam, what do you got?
Oilers money line, minus 130.
Just straight up.
Straight up money line.
Go to Vegas and do your business.
Yep.
Mega money line?
Mega money line.
Are you going
mega mom money line for Mother's Day weekend, but yes, mega money line.
Okay.
Fair enough. Jay, what are you doing tonight?
Well, if I don't do this, then I would be a liar.
Okay.
Right? Leon's going off tonight, so I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Leon over 2.5 points. I would definitely want to do 2+ goals, but 2.5 points just to be safe.
Which one's juicier?
Oh, the goals would be juicier.
Is it? Okay.
But still 3-1. So it's nice. And I put a sizable wager on that. Almost
BM level?
BM Nuge level.
I'm going big tonight too. I made a little side bet with my dad that Pietrangelo would get suspended, and I obviously won.
You didn't think he would?
He did not, and he bet me $100.
Is that going into the mega money line fund?
Right onto the mega mom money line.
I love it. Jay, just to follow up your point, Draisaitl to score 3+ points is +200 on Betway.
Yep.
Draisaitl to score 2 or more goals is +450.
I know.
I might be on that.
I might just put a smaller amount on that, just a little. But
my bet today is Connor to score, Connor to get an assist, +130. There's no pre-built bet that allows me to mix in the money line with it, but I think Connor McDavid's gonna have a good game here. Hasn't scored in a game or two, right? Because he didn't score once in these games in Edmonton.
No, didn't score either.
So I think Connor finds the back of the net in this hockey game. I think he picks up a little apple as well, and there you go.
Or gets 2 goals, doesn't matter. Oh, no, he went goal and assist.
Yeah. Odin is in and says, go Nuge 3+ points. That would be a juicy one on Betway. The odds on that bad boy are plus 375. It's not that juicy, actually. I was expecting a little bit more out of that Nuge bet. What else we got going on here? BMAC says, Boosh 2 goals coming tonight. Sure. Christopher Palmer says, if it hits, someone is buying donuts. That's the rule.
It would be, my Leon wager is donut worthy.
I always like to do throw $10 on a little extra juicy parlay every game. Where like I call it my everything's gonna go right. The Oilers smoke 'em parlay.
Yes.
All I missed last game.
Can you abbreviate that?
No, I actually couldn't. Everything's gonna go. I'll come up with something maybe a little bit quicker. But my everything goes right. Oilers are gonna smoke 'em parlay last game. Just needed a Bush assist and another Draisaitl point, and it would have been $10 into 510.
Would
So
Bush?
I would have bought 2 boxes of donuts.
Would Bush have got the assist on the Draisaitl goal?
No,
No,
because I was watching for that. And they got, I was on the edge of my seat late in that game because they got a power play with like 5.5 or 6 to go.
That's right.
And he put the big guns out there.
Yeah.
And then they pulled the goalie and he had Bouchard and Dry both on the ice. And I was like, oh my God, this might actually happen. This might legitimately hit. Wasn't meant to be. I'm going to be at Greta tonight along with AB. Liam, my brother-in-law, Kelly's also joining me at Greta tonight.
I saw his message.
Yeah, he wants to Lady and the Tramp a pizza taquito with you. So if that's not motivation to show up to Greta tonight, I don't know what is. The pizza taquitos at Greta are really, really good.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
I did.
If I was a super fan of Liam's, I would be asking for the banana.
Someone tweeted us a nice picture of their banana, the banana they brought to lunch for work.
Yep.
Okay.
It's got hot in here all of a sudden.
Boy.
Why? Am I missing something?
Nope, nothing. AMA Travel Out of Town scoreboard before we wrap up the show. Quick, move on. Last night, we saw the Dallas Stars get a win and a 3-2 series lead.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, they look in control of that series now. Ottinger's looking good. That top line's back together, and they're humming. Dallas is probably going to close it out.
Yeah, I would imagine and hope they do for the Oilers' sake of everything.
Canes are on to the next round thanks to a 10-point second round by Jordan Martinook. Who had that coming?
After scoring 0 in the first.
Yeah.
I saw Jordan Martinook after he did the DFL rundown with you guys last summer. I was at the Sherwood Park Arena and he walked right past me.
It's a local boy.
And he said, watch out for me in the second round next year.
Yeah, that's exactly
And then
what
he said, especially if we play the Devils.
Yeah, specifically. He said, don't watch the first round.
Leafs keep it alive tonight. They are. They're winning. They're
on home ice.
That place is going to be rocking.
This is going to go 7, and they're going to lose at home.
Overtime loss for the Leafs tonight.
Ooh.
That's what I bet.
I was driving in today, cruising in the Nation truck on a game day, as I do. And I was sitting there going, I think we're due for overtime tonight.
I thought about that too. I don't know. This series just hasn't been close at all.
It hasn't. That's why I feel like we're due for just
both
a
teams
fight.
Actually show up.
Just a grinded out fight. I'm going to say 4-3.
Both teams have adversity, right?
Yeah. 4-3 in OT is my prediction.
I think the Oilers win late is my prediction. So I think it'll be 4-1 Oilers.
I do think it's going to be tight. It's going to be, I bet the Oilers and over 5.5 is one of my other bets. So I'm going to go, I like your 4-3, but I'll go 4-2. I'm going to go bag milk style.
Bag milk style 4-2. Speaking of bag milk, we will have a fresh episode of Oilers Nation Radio coming to you later this afternoon. So if you want some more Oilers talk to get you through the afternoon and lead you into game day, ONR, get it wherever you get your podcast from. And also immediately after the game, Connor Halley going live on this very YouTube channel. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button here, and you'll get a little alert when Connor Halley goes live with Oilers Nation After Dark, brought to you by Boston Pizza. I think that's a wrap on today's show. I think we covered everything, boys.
We did it.
I'm just looking at the scripts. Yep, we're good.
Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day edition of the show. If you need your oil changed, you head to Sherwood Ford. Make sure you have a playoff flag on your vehicle. You cruise in, you get your work done, you get $10 off. Sherwood Ford the Giant rewards you for being a fan. Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day. Shout out to our friends at Betway as well as Labatt Canada, Greta, where I'll be partying and drinking Bud Lights tonight. AMA Travel for the out-of-town scoreboard, Boston Pizza, and Betway 19+. Please play responsibly. Enjoy Game 5. We will be back on Sunday to hopefully tee up a home game with the end of the series in sight. Enjoy your Friday night. We'll talk on Sunday.